This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is the Passion of St. John the Baptist. We remember the death of John the Baptist. We remember the circumstances. And friends, it's important that we do. So here we're taking it this year from Mark's Gospel, chapter 6, verses 17 to 29. Herod was the one who had John the Baptist arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John had said to Herod, "It's not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herodias harbored a grudge against him, wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man, and kept him in custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. She had an opportunity one day when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers, his military officers, and the leading men of Galilee. Herodias' own daughter came in and performed a dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask of me whatever you wish, I'll grant it to you." He even swore many things to her. "I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom." She went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" She replied, "The head of John the Baptist." The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. "I want you to give me at once on a platter the head of John the Baptist." The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So he promptly dispatched an executioner with orders to bring back his head. He went off and beheaded him in the prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl. The girl in turn gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. I quote on this, I refer to this every year. This is such a travesty of justice. Everything about this is cruel, petty, wicked, evil. Everything about it. You have the grudge of Herodias. You have Herod making these foolish oaths, boasting, all about his ego. You have the senseless act of violence and using a little girl to do it. That an innocent child becomes the pawn by which John's life will be taken. All of this is wrong. It's just wrong. Welcome to life. I say this with a sobering intensity, that for many of you who listen, we know that many of us live in such a blessed set of circumstances. But it doesn't take much, friends, to look out and around in the world today and see the scope of human suffering. Recognize that there are many people who are struggling, many people who are treated unfairly, that there is much injustice and cruelty and evil at work in the world. We can come a couple of different ways to this. We can look at it from maybe a couple of different sides. One, in looking at evil, in looking at it, we might run away. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to see it. That old, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. We'll just bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not there. I'm not defending this at all. I'm just noting that sometimes that's exactly what happens. Of course, there are ways that we can confront it. There are ways that we can try to alleviate human suffering, or stand up even to the bully, or at least stand up for the rights of someone who does not have anyone to defend them. But that's hard. That means that there's going to be a target now painted on us. We're going to stand out, and when people stand out, it's a lot easier for the others to take aim and fire. But I think the fact is that here you have John the Baptist, who did the Lord's work. He prepared the way. And this is what awaited him. The Lord Jesus will do his saving work upon the cross. Tortured, cruelly treated, standing right at the center of all that evil. He did that for us. So if John the Baptist would face it, if Jesus would face it, if we see examples of it around us in the world, then friends, be not afraid. Today might be a really good day for us to confront the evils that we see. If we can change them or in some way confront them, to address them, to help, then we should do that. And if they're bigger than us, then to do what we can to minimize people's pain and suffering, to help in some way, shape, or form. But above all, to recognize it, call it out whenever possible, bring help whenever we can. John the Baptist died a horrible death. He was in the direct care of that which was evil at all levels. And yet we honor John's life. We honor his role in heaven to empower and strengthen us that, okay, if we have something that's going to require a little courage to face, then we can call upon John the Baptist for help and strength. That we will do what God calls for us to do. And we ask that God will give us the strength to make it happen. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend. And you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.